I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Okay, so right now
Once the drivers are out, it'll be a lot nicer.
I have the 720. I left the frame rate at 60, and for now I left the stream bit rate at 22 because that's normally what I've been doing it at.
Yeah. No, and that makes sense.
So the only thing different is we toned it up to 60 frames.
60. Okay.
That's the only change.
Okay. So you're gonna go right into Borderlands.
Yeah, I have it on now. My screen should flip over here in a second.
You look fine. It looks a lot better than what it did. Let's put it that way.
Now let's see where this gets us once we actually start the game up.
Yeah, start playing. We'll see where it goes.
But I noticed, like I said on my screen, I was like, wow, that looks really bad. Like, I thought maybe the 1080 would make it look better. That looks awful.
No, because you're pushing more. And if your internet can't handle it.
Oh, my internet should be able to handle it just fine.
There's a little bit of pixelation, but it's not bad. I don't remember what it was looking like before. That's, you know what I mean. I'd have to go into your videos.
I mean, I guess if I have to tone it back down to the 30, like that's.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up an old video.
Yeah.
No, it looks about the same as what you had before.
Okay. I wonder if I tone it down and just keep it at the 30. If maybe that's just. What
No, you look fine compared to like the last broadcast when you did Borderlands last weekend. Okay. I have that one open. It looks about the same as what you had last weekend.
Okay.
Hold on, let me see if I can pull up both here. I don't know if I can have both stream, like your actual stream open and an old video, a new video.
I would assume so. So anybody in the chat, look better, worse, the same? You don't want to talk about it? Let me know. I mean, I feel like it looks a little better on my end, but I do wear glasses.
You can tell, like, in your face that it's full better. You know, on your video cam, you can tell it's better.
Me, yeah. Okay.
On you can tell it's better.
Okay.
But it might be that Borderlands probably was locked back in the day. You know what I mean?
I would assume it probably was because it is a lot older. And Sparkle Chick's saying it seems better, so that's definitely.
Yeah, no, it's a lot better than what it was definitely before, and it looks about the same as what it was last weekend.
Okay.
Compared to your video that you just had. All right, opened up one of your VODs.
So like I said, I'm just curious if like I just tone it back down to the 30 and go whatever, or do I just let it?
Well, with games like, I mean, you think about it this way. With games like Arena and Hearthstone, you're not going to be able to tell the difference, you know, between 30 and, you know, it's like, okay, whatever, it is what it is, you know.
Actually, okay, so the cards, the animations on them are so much smoother with the 60, and I know that sounds really dumb because it's a small thing, but like, you can really notice it there. Alright, I noticed it here on the 60 frames because I know at the 30, like, the animations wouldn't match up very well on my screens.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't feel like 60 or 30 on this game really much matters because it's not like some hyper-competitive online game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just me, but...
Hopefully we're able to bring Anthem eventually to the stream.
Oh, yeah. No, like I said, that game seems...
I just don't think it's going to be on the laptop.
No, I guarantee that's a that game, like I said. As soon as I turned it on, it let me know, like, hey, I'm going to dominate your laptop. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. That is fine. But the game is, like I said, it's ridiculously stunning. Like, the game is gorgeous. And I'm sure even on a better screen...
I know some people are like, it's no Destiny. It's semi-Destiny, but it's not Destiny, you know, when it won't be.
Yeah. You
know, it'll be... Well, hold on, I'll read you Goth's tweet real quick. It was like...
So I guess I have to keep this at 720. I'll have to remember that. So I want to keep putzing with stuff, because I have you know, I have the options to at least try it. So there's no point to not at least try other streams and see where that goes.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just you need to remember what you originally have it set at. So it's like, okay, we can always go back to those.
Yes. Yes.
Here's Goth's tweet from 2 hours ago. Or he tweeted at someone. It's like, this guy tweeted, Warframe isn't Destiny, Anthem isn't Destiny, Division isn't Destiny, Destiny isn't Warframe, Anthem isn't Warframe, Division isn't Warframe, Destiny isn't Anthem, Warframe isn't Anthem. It's like Division isn't Anthem.
Each game is their own game. They're not trying to be another game. I have seen, that was a good shot, some comparisons more so to like Warframe. I think the main reason why you get a lot of Destiny comparisons for Anthem is just because they're both $60, not free to play.
I heard a small, like they have a Diablo-esque looter, where it's like you go get it, you bring it back, then you can decode everything. Like you don't get to change your weapons till you come back into town. Yeah. Like that's when you get the new weapons and everything.
That is how it was, which I thought was a little weird, but I don't feel like, oh, the game's unplayable because of it.
Oh yeah, no.
Like I said, I didn't play it.
That's how Destiny. That's how Destiny was for the longest time. That's how Destiny 1 was. I mean,
was it? I don't remember that.
Destiny 1 was you had to decode everything. Remember? You had to go to the cryptarch for everything.
Oh yeah, that is right. Yeah.
Destiny 2 has changed that recently, where everything, if you found it already, kind of. The only thing that doesn't decode automatically now is your prime engrams of Destiny 2. Yeah. And you have to go to basically cryptarch is only used for that. Yeah. Even your exotics pop. Like you can still get exotic engrams, I think, but
yeah, it does look a lot better on my extra screen now. Okay.
Yeah, it looks a lot better now. You're fine.
But yeah, like I said, I played it for a little bit just to see how the laptop could handle it. And as soon as I knew it could, I was like, alright, well I guess I'll quit playing now. We'll just shoot like 10 more thousand guys. I'm like, nah, I can't wait to play with Seth. I can wait to play with Seth. But I just walked around the, like when the game first spawns and you're in that town and you talk to whoever.
Did you realize the town is really fucking quiet?
See, I actually disagree. I thought there was a ton of noise. Like I heard a whole bunch of stuff.
I don't know. Everybody was saying it was like really quiet in certain areas, like certain areas more than others.
From that, people had said that there was certain places where the audio was glitched. Not so much that it itself was quiet. There's audio files and that were like patched out.
And maybe that's what it is.
And that's why it's quiet. Because when I was in the town, I was like, this ain't quiet. What are people talking about? These people are crazy. I hear everything. Like it's loud. It's bustling. There's people. It's vibrant, it's lively. I'm not really
sure. And the one thing that people want is like, I know what I've heard is like the motion, like streamers are like motion blur needs to go. And I guess the motion blur is no, you didn't. You did, but you didn't because it's glitched.
Oh, okay. But I know I shut that off right away.
Yeah, it's bugged. Okay. Supposedly the motion blur toggle is bugged and it really doesn't turn it off.
I believe that.
You have to turn off your post-processing or like low post-processing, and then it's really turns it down, or helps. And then I guess like there's a lot of effects and everything with like everything going on, and Goth is like screen shake needs to go. It is bad.
Yeah. So Sparkle Chick, how was your day? How are you doing? But no, I didn't have, like I said, I had no weird dips in frame rate. I had no sound problems. I was able to get into the game first try.
No, I mean I haven't. I mean besides I haven't heard too big of a connection issues. It's just people having issues when it's loading.
Okay, so there's this thing where
it's the infinite load bug. Yeah.
There's that. Yeah. There's the problem where the servers are still sort of getting like overly crammed pretty easy.
Oh yeah, they're pretty fucked.
Because I don't think. Well, I think what had happened was they over gave out the amount, like they didn't realize how many demos they were gonna do, you know.
Yeah.
And I think they just
didn't allocate the servers properly or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's a bad thing though. I think if anything that just shows, hey, there's a ton of people willing to play your game.
No, I agree.
You know.
And the thing is people just wanted to play it more. As soon as they started seeing it, it's like, okay, now I have to get it. You know.
Yeah. I do know some people had a problem with the fact that like it's kind of running on a version of the game that's 6 months old, so it's not really like
that's fine
beta,
though.
but
it's like
more like a demo, but it's not really.
Well,
a
that's
demo
what it is. It's a VIP demo.
Because we'll see some people. Well, not some people.
It's a VIP demo that people have put like 4.
Well, they had accidentally said
6 hours
on like a tweet that it was a beta, and people are like trying to shit on them for that. And it's like, guys, quit trying to nitpick at everything. Everyone has to have something wrong with everything. You know, yeah, maybe they misspoke. I don't think you have to eat them alive for it, okay? It's not a beta.
No.
It's technically a demo.
It's just a demo.
But it's also a demo running off old stuff. So, like, calm down. You know, there's going to be problems. And they're probably going to be different problems from what we're having now because it is running off older stuff. And
but see, the thing is before the demo even came out, they said, this is a 6-week-old version of the game.
Yeah.
But we've already fixed these bugs.
Yeah.
You know, it's like whatever bugs you're gonna run into, they're working on them or they've already been fixed. It's like, that's good. You want to hear that.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you want to hear from a game like this.
But I know a lot of people are like, ignore what the reviews are from the beta or the demo or the whatever because it's a different version of the game. It's not the same game. It's going to be different. And
on certain things.
I mean, to a point, yeah, they're right. But the core idea of the game is still going to be the core idea. You know, like,
yeah,
I don't think
they have to ignore
everything.
People bitching about the issues.
Yeah.
But, like, they need to go towards where people need to change. Yeah. Like, maybe the flight system for mouse and keyboard or...
See, I actually didn't find it that bad once I tweaked my controls. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, once you see what happens is you have your thing, but then I was watching Ko and he's like, as soon as you know how you have the bigger ring, and then you have that smaller ring where your icon is. As soon as that your cursor gets outside that bigger ring, it like starts snapping.
See, I didn't have one snap for me.
Or it like seems like maybe not a snap, but more of an acceleration. Like it really kind of forces you to turn the corner.
But what happened for me was because I think that the default for everything was about 30, and I like to play every game as a snap shooter. So like I like to have everything at 100. I want to just look at my mouse and my 360 no scope because that's just how I play games. I twitch. So 15 for me was like, what is going on here? Because the flight controls are toned way down compared to the actual controls. So it's like you really have 2 separate controls, and I was like, why am I not turning? Like so I had to go back into the menus, and I noticed like, oh, it's 2 separate.
Turn some of it up, turn some of it down. It's like you're...
Yeah. Oh, I just turned everything way up. Like way, way, way up. I was like, yeah, this is not quick enough for us. We have to be twitchier. And Sparkle Chick, I'm glad you had a good day, and I'm glad it's super cold out. It was super cold here too. It was brisk 74 today. Rigid.
It was negative 20 when I came home from work this morning at 5 o'clock this morning. 6 o'clock this morning.
I had to put shorts on, and I didn't even get dressed until right before the stream because I've been sweating all day. I wasn't used to the heat. The last couple of weeks, it's only been like 60 here, so to have a day with 70 in the sun out.
Oh, and that snowstorm that we're supposed to get tomorrow has already started.
Nice. See, I don't miss that at all. Like, I'm glad I don't have to deal with that anymore.
We're getting fucking dumpstered on. It's gonna be horrible.
Isn't it awesome? But no, I found the controls were really good. The flying, yeah, you really have to, if you're gonna go keyboard and mouse. I can see the problem where
you have to futz with your key. You have to futz with your system to like get it to how you want it.
Yeah.
I will definitely play it on controller most likely.
I am actually gonna roll keyboard mouse because I felt like it played like a really solid third-person shooter. It's just the flying is kind of weird.
Yeah, and it'll just take a little getting used to. I think is all it is.
Like, okay, so when you jump to fly, right? The first like second or so of flying, you almost have no control. So you're trying to do something that it felt like I had no control over. So once I came to terms with that, like it was completely different for me. But it was me accepting the fact that like, okay, so you got to jump and then fly and then wait. Okay, now you can do stuff, because if you try to move too early, like your mouse is all messed up. And yeah, there's a lot of, I did biff it a lot. We're supposed to get 8 more inches. We just got 8 inches last week. Yeah, but if you don't have snow, maybe it'll come this way. I don't want it. That's gross. You saw Rachel's snow picture that was 100+ miles away. Look at the top of those mountains. There's snow. Good enough for me. Uh-oh. Copy, bro. There we go. But yeah, there's no way the laptop could support playing Anthem and stream it. Just the 5-10 minutes I actually played, not just like walking around. I did think the animation with suit, where you jump into your suit for the first time. I loved the first-person perspective of like crawling into your suit. That was like, that's kind of sweet, because it looks.
It shows you that every time.
Because it looks really, really good. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have any problem though, where like the bots didn't want to touch me. Like they were on me the whole time. I never had any stupid AI.
I haven't heard any of that. So I mean.
Yeah, no,
I've heard nothing but good things, to be honest with you.
Me having to, you know, I guess my 3-week rule, right? The first thing I have to do is I have to just instinctively, not trying to be negative, but just find the negatives first. Because, like with Resident Evil, the new one that came out, right? Like, I love Resident Evil. I'm still putting it on the 3-week rule. But everyone is like, you know, the game's great, it's per blah 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 blah, right? But there's this weird timer thing. Now they won't spoil it in their reviews as to what this timer they're talking about is, but they're like, for people who don't like to have to do stuff in a certain manner, that might turn you off, because like I guess half the game is like, no, you only have this much time to beat the rest of the game. Have fun. And it's like,
what?
That's kind of weird. Now, like I said, none of them really spoiled what it was. Okay, so I don't fully know, but it was just like...
That's the first I've heard of that.
That's kind of weird. Yeah, again, I have to look at that stuff, though, because for my 3-week rule, you know, I want to see if they can actually fix the stuff. You know, you would hope and assume that, you know, no new problems spring up, because that sucks. But, like, yeah, they keep talking about this weird timer thing. They don't say what it is. They just continually make mention of this timer thing, and it's like...
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of it. No. I've never... And like that's just weird for a Resident Evil game, too. I mean, that's just...
Well, I remember number 3, maybe not 2, but I remember 3, there was a certain point when you finally met the tyrant, and you had so much time before the town blew up. So, like, you had to finish the last part of the game under a timer. They gave you more than enough time, but the problem is, if you got too greedy with your ammo and you ran out of ammo, and then you had a shitty save spot, like, you would have to go back to whatever last save spot, if you had one, was. Or if not, you had to reset your entire game because you just couldn't beat the last boss. So, like, you know, I expect that to a point, just because that's what Resident Evil had, so it doesn't piss me off if that's in there. I just want to know, you know, like, why aren't, I guess, A, more people talking about it, and 2, what kind of quote-unquote timer are they talking about? They're never very specific on it, because they say, well, we don't want to spoil stuff. But I feel like if that's an issue, and you as a game reviewer think it's an issue, I feel like you should discuss it maybe a little more. Instead of just saying, well, I don't want to spoil it, because if it's, you know, well, the last half of the game's on a timer, a lot of people aren't probably going to want to play that game, because they don't want to have to do stuff in a time manner. Especially on a single player game, like, that's kind of, I don't know. This, I'm not going to say it's weird, but, like, it's outdated. We're past the point in games where we need timers. I know, I'm looking at the ground.
The thing is, it's a remake. You got to really not changing the game. It's just, you know what I mean?
Well, okay. So they said there's like a remake and a remaster, and they're like, this game is definitely not a remaster, because it's technically not faithful to the old game. Like, they changed a good chunk of stuff in it, and I'm fine with that too. That doesn't bother me. But you know, there is like that.
I didn't get it on Xbox.
That distinct difference between, you know, is it exactly the same? Well, no. Well, then what's changed about it? Well, things.
I know one thing people were having issue with is, like, in the old Resident Evil games, once you knock something down, you could go smash their head.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah. And I guess
they took that out. I was like, oh, that's fucked up.
And I guess some of the guys in this game like infinitely respawn as well. So even after you shoot them like dead, they'll eventually get back up.
Yep.
And I was
as
like,
long as like
okay
you can shoot them dead, but they're not really dead because they're zombies. Yeah. So like you actually have to like hit their head off or like just, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
And like I said, I'm actually okay with that too. Like that doesn't bother me at all. But I really want to know. Like I want to know what this timer thing is without, you know, if it's really that big of a spoiler where it like ruins the whole game. You know, it kind of makes me second guess a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm at that age now where I'm so old, I just want to casually play games. That's why I was like, I want to play through Borderlands 1. Because I know I'm not going to have to bust my balls to play this game. It's going to be something super casual on stream.
Right.
You know. And like I said, I can use my video game weekends as like just talk sections or sessions, which is nice.
I'm trying to. What other games are coming out? So you got Anthem coming soon. The other game that looks good that I want to try coming up is the new Days Gone game. That new zombie game where like it's got hordes. You're like a biker or whatever. That game looks good. But that's going to be a PS4 exclusive.
Too bad you have one, right? Oops.
Too bad I have one. Too bad you have one too.
How did that not hit him in the head?
Too bad you have one too. It's just
Kingdom Hearts 3, yeah. And I know everyone's losing their mind about the whole GameStop thing, right? And
to be fair, that was horrible.
I mean, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not going to condone it, you know. But like, they grossly oversold, and you know, I don't know if necessarily on like pre-order specialties if they fully know, like exactly how much they're allotted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's something that's kind of out of their hands. That's strictly in the developers' hands. You know. So I don't feel like GameStop necessarily warrants all the hate. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I don't know who you put the blame on there.
You know, they've done a lot of stupid stuff. I'm not giving them a pass for all the dumb shit they've done and all the dumb shit that we know they're going to continue to do. Like, that's just,
I mean, it is what it is, you know.
Well, you know, the way I look at it is too is because GameStop's in a rough spot right now. Because as more and more games go to download only, just because it is cheaper. Like, think of how much more money the game companies are making by not having to make discs, not having to buy cases.
It's just more profit
for the Switch. Yeah, and for the most part, a lot of people nowadays, you know, they don't want to go to a store to buy a game. They just want to sit on their ass, download it butt naked at home while they're on the computer.
I mean, how much do you think it actually costs a company to make the discs compared to just going download? Where it's like, okay, if you just put it on, you know, you give Xbox or like Steam like 1% of every purchase or something like that, or 2, you know, 5%, they'd be happy with.
And I know it's not.
You know what I mean?
It's not cheaper for the consumer sparkler chick. You are absolutely correct, but sadly they don't care about us. So that just gets chucked out the window and away we go. We also got to remember too, though, with things like rising gas prices, you know, it is getting harder for them to ship out stuff.
I kind of felt bad for one of my buddies who he's a truck driver from Manitowoc. He's like, yep, the truck's gonna be on for about, you know, the next 200 hours or whatever, 20 hours.
Yeah.
You know, because he's a driver. With it being so cold, it's like it looks like my truck's not turning off anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, in comes when diesel goes up by 15 cents a gallon.
Usually.
It got so cold that everything went up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I never actually thought about that.
See, and that's something too that, like, as just a regular Joe Blow, you don't really put the mindset to, like, think about it. You just kind of, you know, you kind of brush it off because does it really affect you? Well, not really. I mean, you know, you don't think about it, but like at the end of the day, it does sort of affect you just because all that stuff is factoring into a lot of stuff, you know? But I know for some people, like me included, I'd rather have a hard copy of a game. Personally. I'm just, you know, like on the computer, I don't have a disk drive, so clearly I want to download stuff. But I thought about it right after I got it, and I was like, weird, it doesn't have a disk drive on it, right? And now
computers don't come with them anymore.
And then I was thinking about it though, and it's like, would I ever actually use it though?
Nope.
And I was like, oh, don't get me wrong, I love hard copies too. I mean, that's how I am. But also too, sometimes it's easier to download the game and cheaper than it is to buy a hard copy as well.
Yeah.
So there's even more factors that kind of go into it. Like I know the what the hell is it? The new No More Heroes game that came out. I think it's $40 for a hard copy, and it's $30 if you download it. I like saving $10 just because.
Mhm.
You know, that doesn't bother me at all to save money. And I know there's some people who argue like, oh well, you know, hard copies take up space. Well, last time I checked, unless you're really sweaty about buying video games, and I mean really, really sweaty, right? Like you should never run out of space in your living, you know, confines.
Yeah.
To go, well, I can't buy any more video games because I can't fit one more into my house. If you get to that point, you probably should see a doctor because you probably have some issues.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I even think the game has issues, or like every system's gonna have issues. It's no different than, I mean, realistically, it's no different than how DVDs and videos are nowadays.
Yeah. You know, you don't see a lot of people buying like Blu-rays.
I don't buy any. I don't buy. I just had that discussion with the girlfriend today. It's like I don't, you know, I just buy right off of Voodoo now. You know, in when, you know, and then what did I say? I was like, in before everything, you know, we lose the internet and I'm fucked.
No, I know that does happen, and that kind of sucks. But like, okay, a lot of the games you buy, right? Like, be real. When you buy a game, how many single-player games do you really buy?
Not many. Spider-Man was the last one I bought. Spider-Man and God of War were the last two.
Now, I know you got your mileage out of both those games, right? Like, I know you played the hell out of them.
I never finished Spider-Man, but I have to go back to Spider-Man eventually. But yeah, okay. I mean, I beat God of War. God of War was amazing.
So I mean, like for the most part,
can't wait for God of War 2.
Just about every game you buy nowadays pretty much has an online component for it, and that's usually where the meat and potatoes of the games are.
Yep.
So if the internet just goes out, I think everybody's boned.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But don't get me wrong. Okay, so going back to Anthem a little bit, I believe they also said at launch there will be no PvP.
I'm fine with that.
So am I. Like, there's the online. They don't want to have to deal with the whole aspect of. You know.
Absolutely hated the PvP in Destiny.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That game, in my opinion, sucked.
Don't get me wrong. If they figure something out for Anthem, it'll be interesting to, you know, if they figure out a PvP for Anthem, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Because, like, can you imagine a javelin running around and like how fast paced that game is right now?
Yeah.
There's a reason Warframe's system is all fucked.
Yeah.
You know. And their PvP is horrible.
Yeah, and I think for me, my problem with like Destiny's it was pretty much just, well, whoever was lucky enough to loot the best weapon, they would usually win the gunfight, and that sucked.
Yeah.
Like I absolutely hated that.
I kind of think that they kind of tried to take some of their Halo and like tried to take some of their Halo. You know, Bungie tried to move some of their Halo stuff into Destiny.
I could see that.
You know.
And something else you have to remember, Sparkle Chick, is once you've downloaded it, you can still play it even without necessarily having your internet be live, as long as there's no internet component. So it's not just like there's no internet, I can't play my game online. Now that could be for PC and stuff like that, but I know with the consoles, once you've downloaded it, you technically just have it. So like that's not.
Really as soon as you press buy, I can download it on any system I want, as long as I'm logged in.
Yeah, but I mean like you can play it without the internet. I don't know about all computer games, but I know for console games, like you can play Call of Duty if you've downloaded it.
I think so, yeah.
You know, without the internet, because it's just you're just transferring the information instead of ripping it off a disc. You're ripping it off of.
Yeah, no, there's games like, obviously, it's no different than God of War. Like, if I downloaded God of War for my PS4.
Yeah.
And I bought it offline. And as long as I have it downloaded and then I go to a different,
Yeah.
And then I turn my internet off, I could still play it.
I don't know if the new Pokemon game comes out this year. I know I'll buy that just because I always buy Pokemons, except for the Let's Go ones that they just released. I couldn't commit to those. I don't know. Those weren't right.
I was trying to find like deck lists from today, but I can't find anything. But I don't think they're gonna.
Okay, because I know I'll be getting that pretty much right away. I mean, you really can't mess up a Pokemon game. I'm not gonna say Nintendo games as a whole, but I will say that I think Pokemon should be fine. The Let's Go games for me just seemed a little too easy, and like right now we're going through. We restarted our Sun. Yeah, I got Sun.
I don't like what I don't like about that game and the new Pokemon game is how they changed. Like, I wish it was more just a repeat of. Because what did they do? They obviously just took.
I want to say it was
Yellow
and rehashed it. Yeah.
Yeah, rehashed Yellow and put it as. But added Pokemon Go, and I don't like that. I never liked the Pokemon Go aspect of things. But that's what I think that's going to. I hope eventually that they change that, but I don't know if that'll change.
I think when the next one comes out, it's gonna go back to being, the Pokemon that I guess we're quote unquote used to.
It'll be interesting to see if they, going forward, decide to get rid of, like, they'll always have the DS, but I don't know if they're gonna go to another DS after this one.
No, I think the next one's coming out our Switch, and that's like they've pretty much said
I think I think everything goes to the Switch now.
Yeah, that they pretty much gave up on the 3DS.
Well, okay, I take that back. I would not be surprised. Games will still be made for the DS, but I don't think you'll see another new DS.
See, I actually think that this is the year that they just completely give up on the 3DS. Because you have the Switch, which already does that, so you can just take.
No, that's what I mean. So I think you still make games for the 3DS to keep pushing out product for it, but you don't make a new one.
That a while ago. I think that the 3DS has been done for a while. Like, they really didn't do much with it. They had some good games come out for it, but I think you just let it go, or like if you do make 3DS games. Right, you make them so you can download them and play them on your Switch, because the Switch is just a better 3DS. Like,
I agree, it is.
It's a little bigger.
But I think there's still people that play both.
Of course there is.
Or that'll play the 3DS, like Pokemon. There are people that don't have the Switch, so it's like I would not be surprised if you see whatever the next Pokemon game is for both.
No, I think
like a version for
Switch
both.
Only.
Really?
Already, yeah. Well, I mean, you have. So I think
what is the next Pokemon game anyway?
It's called Pokemon Yes and No. Okay, I don't honestly know the name. I just know that there's another one coming out because normally everyone lets me know, and by everyone I mean Twink, just because Twink and I normally get opposite versions of each other. Because we're cool kids like that. Okay, they haven't announced a title yet, but I think that. The last couple of them have been really simplistic. Sun and Moon, it holds your hand so much. It was so long to really get like into the main game. I forgot how much bullshit there was at the start of the game to get to the point where it was like, I'm actually playing the game now. Which kind of pissed me off. The fact that you can remove special conditions in between battle by cleaning off your Pokemon, I thought that was kind of corny too. Like, and then I feel like that was sort of the start of the simplistic nature.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because at the start of the game too, when like your rival takes the weakness of your Pokemon instead of the one that destroys your Pokemon, it was like, okay.
What do you mean?
Okay, so normally like if you take, let's say from the old games, you take Charmander, right? Your opponent would take Squirtle.
Yeah.
Okay, well in this last one, if you take the fire guy, the dumbass will take the grass guy so you can destroy his butt cheeks right away.
Oh, that's fucked up.
And it was like, I see what's going on here. I get it. I see what you're doing.
That's not right. That's not how it's supposed to be.
You know, the game has been okay so far. I think a lot of the newer Pokemon, honestly, in my opinion, I don't like them that much. But you know,
Sun and Moon was just for
3DS.
3DS, wasn't it?
Yes. You know, and I feel like it's going to come to the point where either A, they run out of ideas, you know, because...
I'm not surprised that they held your hand, to be honest with you, because you had more kids coming into those games.
Well, you do. But I mean, let's get serious here.
But it's the same thing over and over.
Well, yeah. It's baby's first RPG is essentially what those are.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of grinding. You know, I guess it has story. If you really want to call it story. You're gonna be the very best like no one ever was. It's not really a story. Okay, sure it is.
I love how everything it's called fainting and not.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, you know, if your Pokemon died, I think there'd be little kids just randomly crying in public because their Pikachu died. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I see why they did the choices for their terminology that they used. But I do understand, too, that, like, they have to understand at this point their target audience is 20+ years old. Like, yeah, you're gonna have little kids buy the game because it's a kid's game. But you're also gonna have a whole bunch of 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds immediately buying the game.
Oh, Jeff, what are you doing?
You got approved for a Pokemon panel Anime Milwaukee. Hey, that's kind of cool. What kind of stuff are you gonna do at your? You're gonna be cosplaying as Team Rocket. Nice. See, that's something too I didn't like in the newer games. Is Team Skull was like no bueno for me. I thought they were kind of lame. Wannabe Gangsters was kind of stupid in my opinion. I did not like them. I did not. Man, this Ducati beer is terrible. Team Skull was not the best. I'm gonna stop you there. But nah, man. After playing Anthem for a little bit, I'm so hyped to play now. Like, dude, my body is ready. That game was sweet.
So, 35 minutes ago, Jeff Hoogland posted on Twitter. Magic community has grown a lot recently with Magic Arena, and I recently hope the influx of people Todd Stevens MTG has had on his stream is mostly new people who don't know he is scum. If you are one of my new followers in the last few months, I'd encourage you to watch anyone else. And then he posts Todd's like for him getting fired from Star City and everything for everything that happened. And then he goes on to add to it saying, also I'd assume he doesn't use Twitter anymore because he doesn't want people like Star City, Cipher and Olive, Red Bear and MTG, you know, list of different people, and others to unfollow him because those follows give validation to his brand. But then he also goes to say, I believe in second chances. It's like, really?
Here's the way I look at it with that. And I know this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, but you don't have to watch somebody's stream and like the person.
Yeah.
But you can respect them at least as a good enough player.
I agree with you there.
Because, I mean, I think a lot of pros are either super outspoken. Don't get me wrong, they're a much better card player than I'll ever be. Like, I'm not here to shit sauce anyone or make fun of anybody. I know better, but I mean, either their ideals to you are awful. They've done stupid stuff in their life. Same thing with like for me, Hoogland is just so outspoken. Like, I just pretty much refuse to watch him because of that. Like, he's a much better player than I am. But the things he does and the things he says, sometimes his actions and the way he goes about things, just like make me shake my head and go, "What are you doing?"
Right.
Stick to cards. Don't try to become some weird the lamp or something. Just be a normal dude. I'm glad that you have your own opinion, but like, you know, you meddle around too much. You know,
he
is a
hasn't
good
been
card
on.
player, but he meddles around too much.
Yep.
And he's too opinionated on stuff that, like...
I always thought he was gay, to be honest with you.
I'm not gonna lie. I totes got that vibe.
Yeah.
You know, I guess we're both wrong. Or maybe we're both right and there's still someone hiding.
Hey.
I'm just throwing that out there, that's the thing. You know, I've had...
You're not wrong.
I've had family members in my family who were not straight, and they got married to the opposite sex, just so their family wouldn't eat them alive.
Would be happy.
Because they didn't want to come out, because, you know, their family would just lynch them. And it's weird that, like, I always look at that, though, and it's like, you really... You know your kids so little that, like, you don't even know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you clearly know nothing about your child. If you're just like, oh yeah, they're happily hetero, and, you know, they're nowhere near that. I mean,
yeah.
To me, I don't know. If I ever had kids for whatever reason, like, I really wouldn't care, you know? Like, there's bigger things to worry about.
I agree with you there.
You know?
Speaking...
You do you know what I mean?
Yep.
At least within reason. Now, don't touch kids or something, that's kind of weird. That's not right.
That's just wrong.
Yeah, there is some things that I definitely am not okay with. So don't think that I'm just okay with everything. That's not how we roll. That's not how we roll.
Did you see the speaking of like sports and a little bit? You know, I was just reading a Vince Beagle post. Didn't know he was with the Saints.
Oh.
No. Yep. Anyways, speaking of sports, now did you see that they changed the name of the Brewer Stadium?
Yeah, I did. I love that.
I hate that.
Okay, but why do you hate that?
Because it's always been the Brewers. It's always been Miller Park.
but besides that.
Well, it wasn't. That's not true. It's
exactly.
You know.
That's what you remember it as.
Yeah.
Things to remember. It is a business.
It'll just suck. You know.
It is a business, though. I will say.
Yep.
For the team being.
They're getting a lot of money
for a team being the Brewers, sure. Right. It completely made sense for it to be Miller Park. Okay. But, like, is it the end of the world? Yes, it is.
No.
Should everybody go jump off a bridge? Absolutely. Yep. The world's over. Your sports team is changing the name of their field, not their team name. Where they play at. Dude, end of the world. Bye. It's not that big of a deal. There's bigger things to worry about than that. For everyone who's like, oh, I'm going to boycott it. You're a bonehead. It's still the Brewers. It's just the stadium has a new name. Yeah. I'm sorry that that's weird or offensive to you. But
no, I agree with you there.
That's so ridiculous. Come on.
It'll just take a little getting used to, like I said. It was surprising.
No. Here's the thing. Check this out. Ready? You don't have to call it Miller Park. Dude, mind blown, right? You never thought of that. You don't have to call it Miller Park. I'm just trying to help you out. You know, I still
I can still call it Miller Park? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, exactly. You know, you don't have to just conform. Like, you know how many people around here still say San Diego Chargers?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, now they're Los Angeles, jeez.
Yeah, but people still call them San Diego Chargers.
Right, yeah.
Not like LA. Not like LA needed two teams.
I mean, you think about it, it used to be the... Milwaukee... What? There used to be a different team in Milwaukee, even.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who was here before that.
Yes, they've been the LA Chargers now for
2 years.
1 or 2 years, yeah.
I want to say 2. I think this is their second season.
I don't remember. I know. Definitely last year they were the Los Angeles Chargers, like for sure locked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Their owner, Tony Spano, was not happy with the way San Diego was treating them. So the Rams.
We'll see how everything goes. I mean, and we'll see how everything goes there, because who knows what's gonna happen with the Raiders next year. Holy hell. That'll be interesting.
Well, the good thing is Oakland is just far enough away to like not be in LA, but it's still close enough that's like it's not needed.
Isn't the city of Oakland like suing the team?
Yeah, because they're trying to breach their contract by moving. Because I guess their contract with the stadium was through, we'll just say like 2022. Just throwing an example out there, and clearly they're trying to get out of there before that, because they want to be in Las Vegas in 2020, right?
You gotta ask yourself if the stadium can hold them and is good till then. You know.
their stadium wasn't really good anyway. Like playing with the baseball diamond out there was crap.
Leave. But I mean, it's causing them to leave earlier than what they were actually supposed to, and now it's like, okay, there's talk of them playing in London.
Yeah, well, that's because that's kind of where they would have to be forced, not really like that's where they.
Yeah, that's not their choice.
Yeah, I can't see that happening.
No, I don't either.
Because like,
I don't think the NFL or the that has to go through like all the coaches and all the owners and everything. Like they have to allow that. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, and with how huge the Raiders will be,
it would be. Don't get me wrong. It would be a great test to see if like the NFL could survive overseas, but I don't think it will.
The answer is no. They have their football. We have our football. Yeah. They don't like our football. I don't want to say we don't like their football, but it kind of seems like maybe we don't like their football.
Right.
You don't see a lot of people in the United States necessarily going over the wall crazy for soccer.
Yeah.
But I just...
Don't get me wrong, it's picked up in recent years, but it's
definitely.
Still not.
But I still think that there's no way, every team wants to go to Vegas, no matter what. Like any football team, if they say they don't want to, they're lying.
The funny thing is look how like the NHL just opened that brand new team.
Yeah.
And it was like all free agents and everything, and look at what they did with that season.
Yeah.
The fact that it basically had nobodies and like it was pretty much all free agents and maybe some guys got traded or something like that or that kind of stuff, and they made it that far in the playoffs is insane.
Yeah. And
did they
I think
they didn't make it to the final game, I don't think, but
they made it to the playoffs. They were the final two teams. It was
was it in the final? They were the final two teams. I didn't remember how far they got.
I really wanted them to win, and they just got.
That would have been awesome.
But I was like, it's got to come to a head with it. They will lose at some point. Like I can't see them winning just because their players were like the ones nobody wanted and stuff. So I feel like they had a good run.
To fight for.
They had a good run though.
Oh yeah, and I think they'll have a good season next year too.
I actually don't think they will.
You don't think so?
Nah, I feel like it was one of those like really crappy one and done things where they come out like hot fire and then they're just gonna completely crumble this next season.
That sucks.
I don't want that to happen, but I foresee a really bad Las Vegas Knights team in my future.
So this is going back to video games and everything. This is Polygon's article. Headline is Anthem feels as good as Destiny, but has a BioWare's creative touch. Which is, I think, what a lot of people wanted.
Yeah.
And I think will be... that's what I wanted,
Yeah.
I am very excited to play this game. Like, I am very excited to play this game.
I mean, here's all I ask for out of a game.
And BioWare has always had good storytelling and...
See, I think a lot of people this time are actually expecting this story to really be bad. Like, they really are just assuming it's going to be terrible. And you know what? I'm fine with that because I don't care about Destiny's story, so I don't really care about this game's story. You're a dude who kills things. Dude, sign me up. Put me in, coach. That's all I need.
See, the thing is where it's like, what it's going to piss me off is if it's bad. Which I don't think the gameplay is going to be bad. I think the one... Have you watched any of the videos of like the different javelins and everything?
Nope.
Oh. So you got your Hulk. As, your
some of those
tank
on
class.
One of the review videos I was watching, and those looked really, really beefy.
Some of those look sweet.
And I do like the fact too that like you can kind of customize their colors and stuff on them a little bit. I found that.
Oh yeah, they actually have different like styles and everything.
Yep.
And of course, because it's BioWare, there's an N7 skin.
Of course.
They did say that everything, if EA brings anything into the game, like for money grab, if they do, and which they most likely will, there will be loot boxes, it sounds like, or whatever. Their version of the Eververse, it will be all cosmetic.
Yeah.
Which is how it should be.
Yeah. I know, like, Overwatch got a lot of flack for that, and quite frankly, You know what? If it's for skins...
Well, okay, I take that back. I would be okay with it being either cosmetic or like taunts or, like emotes and stuff like that.
Not weapons. Non-weapon purchases. See,
the only thing that they're going to do there is the only weapon purchase that you can do is with getting the special edition one. But that's what most games do nowadays.
Yeah.
At which point that stuff goes out of date in like, what? Within the first 10 levels?
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
So.
Or they give you something really good for your end game when you actually get there, but other than that,
and from the little bit of like talking I've seen, they fixed the whole, because this is the same team that made, or most of this team is the one who made Andromeda. Andromeda's big issue was the voice acting and like their face recognition stuff. Yeah, that's not an issue anymore.
No, but last time too, they got kind of like shoved under the bus with really crappy circumstance, and I feel
it was horrible.
Like this time, because they're not just being pretty much thrown to the wolves.
Well, and one of the streamers I watch is like, he's like, where the hell was this technology with Andromeda?
Yeah.
And someone's like, well, what if this technology is because of what happened with Andromeda?
No. The thing is that I guarantee you this is what they were working with, but under their like 8-month time constraints, they didn't get time to really dig in there and figure everything out. So instead, it looked bad. I guarantee you this is what they had, and now they're like, now we can show it off.
Yeah.
Our guys have had time to play with it. This is what we can do.
What? Who makes... And it still uses the Frostbite engine.
Well, yeah.
Which, there's a lot of good games that are coming off the Frostbite engine.
Well, Frostbite's
Dragon Inquisition was off Frostbite Inquisition. Both Battlefront, the last two Battlefront games are off Inquisition, or Frostbite.
Yeah. Never heard of
Battlefield 1. So the last Battlefield game.
I still think that game looked really sweet, but I kind of swore off like competitive FPSs that weren't Overwatch just because.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you mean.
When I bought,
I didn't realize that FIFA and Madden are both on the Frostbite engine.
Yeah. I feel like there was a place to grab a car and I didn't, like a ding dong. Oh well. So we keep running. I got my ult scoring faster.
Did you hear that there was a Star Wars game in the works that they just canceled?
Yep. A single player game. And it's actually been canceled for a while. And the companies tried to talk to them to allow them to just make it. And they're like, nah, we don't see the point.
Well, BioWare said they tried hand in hand for a long time to get KOTOR 3 going too, and they just never worked.
We got a purple gun. Hopefully it's juicy. Probably won't be though. We've been getting really crappy guns on this playthrough. It makes me sad. My shotty is the only tits gun we found so far. And that's okay though. Well, I know too. A lot of people right now are freaking out in the realm of Blizzard with the whole thing that they just did to Heroes of the Storm. And now for a lot of the really popular...
well, that's the other thing I'm going to wonder is, like, is Blizzard part of Activision?
Well, Activision is part of Blizzard. It's the other way around. No, yeah, Blizzard's part of Activision. Sorry.
That's a scary thought for Destiny. You know what I mean?
Wait, did that even make sense for me to swap them guns like that? No, I feel you. But there was a... How do I compare? E? Because when I think of comparing weapons, I think of the E button. Okay, so we'll just...
Yeah, it's Activision Blizzard Studios.
Yeah. But like, with the thing that just happened to Heroes of the Storm, right? Like, a couple days after that announcement, they sent out a whole bunch of surveys for not Heroes of the Storm, for Hearthstone to a lot of the streamers, and a lot of people are under the impression that they might be seriously cutting back now on what they're doing with Hearthstone, because I guess Hearthstone sales have been down and people aren't happy with that, and they started pulling people off of Hearthstone already to put them into Overwatch. So now people are kind of like, maybe Hearthstone's not getting covered properly anymore, and Hearthstone might be going the way of what's it called soon?
Okay, so who is it? Blizzard owns Activision, or Activision owns Blizzard?
Activision owns Blizzard.
Okay. So I wonder what that means for... Because, okay, Destiny 2, Bungie just separated from Activision.
Yeah.
What does that mean for Destiny 2 on PC? Or Destiny 3 on PC?
Well, they've kind of said, like, they're going to continue to sort of do stuff. But it sounds like there won't really be a Destiny 3 from Blizzard's perspective if that happens.
So you'll have to find it.
But they haven't really announced.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they haven't announced anything for Destiny 3, obviously. But, I mean,
yeah.
But it's a matter of, like, where they put it at that point. Because it was put on Blizzard for a reason, so it's like...
But no, there's just this big scare throughout any company owned by Activision that a great purge is coming to focus on, like, the 3 games that make them the most money, and everything else is just going to go to the wayside soon here. A lot of people are kind of worried, though, that, like, now that, you know, Heroes got dunked on, that the next thing is going to be Heroes of the Storm, or not Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone.
Okay. So, okay, this is how it works. Blizzard Entertainment, which is Blizzard, or the one we know.
Yep.
You know, Battle.net.
Yeah.
Is a subsidiary of Activision Blizzard.
Oh, come on.
Is how it is.
Yeah.
Which gets very confusing, don't get me wrong.
Well, no, it's just bigger companies buying other companies to have...
Yep.
What's the word I want to use? So they have not the rights to the intellectual property, but the say on what happens to it.
Yeah, it gives you the rights and to say what's going to happen in those games.
Yeah. And I know, like, the original contract that Bungie had signed with Blizzard, or not Blizzard, with Activision, they were like, you people are nuts. You want us to make us... Because the contract was for 3 Destiny games.
Yep.
They wanted one to come out
every 3 years.
No, over the course of 3 years, they initially wanted all 3 out.
What?
They're like, no DLC for any game. We want a Destiny 1, and then a 2, and then a 3. Boom, boom, boom. No DLC or nothing. So they could try to cannibalize and make as much money as they humanly can off each game, because then it becomes like a FIFA or like a Madden, where the new one's out.
That's
you
just
have
bad.
to play that one. And Bungie was like, no, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
You know, we want DLC and we want to have fluid. Like, we can't pump it out every year. And originally, Destiny 2 was like 30 or 40% done when they had to scrap it because they were being
and that's why Destiny 2 had such a bad launch.
Yeah. They were being force-fed too much. Well, no, you need more DLC. No, you need more DLC. No, you need more DLC. No, don't put that in the main game. That's DLC. So that's really why they wanted to part ways.
They switched like creative directors too at one point in the midway.
And that's because he didn't like the way things were going. He's like, I'm not dealing with this. This is gross. You people are nuts. And to be fair, he was absolutely right. Those people were off.
Don't get me wrong. It's to the Destiny 2 is finally back to the point, you know, in year 2 finally again, where they're to a point where it's like, okay, it feels good again.
Yep.
You know? But to be honest with you, I don't see me going back.
Well, no.
I'll come back at Destiny 3.
And don't get me wrong,
you know,
there's going to be diehards that do go back. But I mean, At some point,
but I'm so far behind now. It's like I don't even want to play catch. I'd have to play so much catch up. It's not even fun.
But yeah, originally they wanted 3 Destiny games in 3 years. Just tweak the last game a little more. And then tweak that one just a little more. And they're like, no. That's not how this works.
Well, now the rumors for the Destiny 3 is like if you're not a super diehard and like don't want to play like a crap ton of hours a week, don't even play, because that's how big of an RPG it's supposed to be.
I can see that.
It's like, oh, that's a scary thought.
I don't think that's a bad thing though, because like a lot of games nowadays they're basically come out with a lot of substance to it. Like a lot of games are sort of designed with casuals in mind who will just continue. And that's what they're
not doing. Is they're gonna go right for the hardcore player.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's how that should go. Like, you know, the single player market is slowly kind of losing steam now, and it seems like as time goes on, a lot of companies are just like, people don't really like to play single player games. And then, you know, like Red Dead came out, and Spider-Man, and God of War, and those all did really well. They're actually good games. I haven't played any of them, but I know for a fact they're from solid studios. There's no way those games just like flat out suck. But the gaming mindset right now is, well, people don't want to play single player games, which is what worries me about something like Borderlands 3, that the company might try to go, nah, you need more DLC. You want to buy skins, you don't unlock any of them, you gotta pay for them all. And stuff like that. You know, you want some better guns, or a way to get better guns, you gotta pay for it. Because like, at the way gaming is going, everything is about monetizing and making as much money with less work. You know, here's the finished product, but we can take out 40% of the game and just have it be DLC, and it's perfect. That's kind of messed up, though. Now, I also understand, right, I'm a firm believer in that games are probably the cheapest form of entertainment you can have per hour you play the game. Okay, because, you know, like with Overwatch.
Well, there's a lot of people who, like, put it, like, this way is, like, for every dollar they put, like, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that that's a fair breakdown. I mean, I look at Overwatch, and yeah, I bought it 2.5 times. But I mean, like, okay, so in those 2.5 times, I have well over, I think, just about 300 hours on my Xbox. I know I have 100 and something on the PS4, and I have another 40 or 50 hours on the PC. So if you break that down for a dollar amount, that's a millionth of a penny per hour. Like, yeah, that is super cheap, and it is getting more expensive to pay games or make games. So here's what I think should happen: you raise every game price $10, right? But there's no more of this, you know, crap ass DLC, no more loot boxes. Just you get the full game out of the box for 10 more bucks. I bet tons and tons of people would be okay with that. But the problem is,
I agree with you.
But the problem is there's people that play games like Madden or FIFA, where they said last year they made $600 million on their stupid loot boxes stuff, just so people could buy the cards to try to make their super teams. The DLC or the stupid eShop shit made more than the game itself. So you did less work. And you made triple the profit. I wonder which way you're gonna lean when you make your next game. You know, but I honestly think games should be 10 more bucks, but you get everything right away. No more of this DLC crap that sucks. You know, if it's good DLC, that's fine. I'm okay with good DLC, you know what I mean? But a lot of games don't have good DLC. It's tacked on shit that's absolutely heinous for what they're charging for it. You know, or like, you know, this DLC kind of locks stuff behind walls. Like, that's also really, really stupid. I'd rather just pay an extra $10 and have it out of the game. I'm sorry. You know, and I
can see that.
You know, and I do think that games, while I know it's a very unpopular opinion because now the games are $60 a piece, not everybody can just go, I'm gonna buy all the games I want this year. No, you're gonna get a couple select ones because you have to factor in time constraints and money and everything else. Like, I get that. Okay, I understand my opinion here is not the best one because a lot of people are going to disagree with me. But I think it would be better for the overall gaming community if the price of games went up just a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I really do. I mean, would it suck to have to pay more? Of course, it's never fun. But at the same time, just because your game is 10 more bucks doesn't mean you're gonna feel like, man, I can't believe I paid 70 bucks for this. But at 60 bucks, I would have been okay with this, because at that point 10 bucks doesn't mean anything. I don't care what you try to tell me. You're lying. That's not how that works. You know, and I think that a lot of this stuff would just, I wouldn't say it would go away, but I feel like it would become much less, and I feel like much less is where we want to be. You know, because some of, not all of, but some of the DLC in that is definitely grown disproportionately out of hand, to the point where it's just like
BS.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, okay, guys, there has to be a middle ground for this.
With that one, it's just kind of bullshit.
No, it is.
You know, because some of their DLC in that game is horrible.
Yeah, well, a lot of games, you know, have nowadays, in my opinion, really bad DLC. Like, you can tell it's just completely tacked on after trash, because, you know, you can get away with that nowadays.
The last one I kind of liked was, or what I wanted to try.
Dude, the fire animal guns are so bananas now. Yeah.
What they need to do was the game I was gonna send you was what's it called? It was the dinosaur game with like
Horizon
Zero Dawn. Was like, instead of it being like afterwards the story, it was before. It was like during the game, and it kind of just came in mid-story, so kind of like jump previous kind of thing.
Yeah.
So then like you knew how it ended, but yet you learned a little more backstory, I guess.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that was kind of cool. And I still need to find a chance to play that one. Play that DLC, I should say.
That is a spicy meatball. There we go. We finally got a really good gun. Hell yeah. But I feel like any sane person would be okay with paying just a little more to make sure the product you're actually buying from the store or downloading day one is much more solid. And I think the other thing that has to stop too is a lot of publishers, not pointing any fingers at anybody, but they have to stop rushing stuff out. I know you want to get that holiday money. I know that you're technically on time constraints and all that stuff. But I do agree with something Shigeru Miyamoto said. He's like, I would rather release a great game that's a year delayed than a game that sucks a month early. Make sure it's good right away, and your sales will flow. And I agree with that.
See, but then at the same time, like games like, there's games that can do the whole beta, and like, you look at Fortnite, that game will never come out of beta.
But it's also free to play, so I don't care. You can rush out free to play games, but when I'm spending 40 to 60 bucks for crap, that, well, we'll patch it over the course, or you buy it day one, and here's this 60 gig patch, like, wait a minute. Why? Why's it got to be like that?
Well, see, I think you're going to see that with... I do think you're going to see it with Anthem. You're going to see a big patch at the beginning.
You absolutely will. And that's because of the online component, okay? But I'm not, like... you have to accept the fact that things are going to be like that. It's just, how many problems are there out of the game? Because there can be a point where there's too many problems and the game just becomes unplayable. Or downright
But then the other thing is, like, okay, games that, like... Let's say God of War. Where I believe there was a day one patch. And it's like, from day one, so okay, they have to ship a game and put it on a disc. So it's like, okay, here's the version of the game that's on the disc. But we're still continuing on the game to, like, you know, fix some things or fix minor tweaks or...
Now see,
you know,
with some stuff like that, I'm actually okay with, because it's not like the day that you're buying the disc from the store is the day they had it. Those discs have been sitting in a warehouse somewhere for months.
Oh yeah, and that's what I mean.
You know, but they're at least still actively trying to patch it. But I'd rather just say, let's wait a month and see how many of these we can patch out. Because it
I think,
to be out
and
right.
To be honest with you though, I think a lot of that had companies like Activision.
No, it is.
Where it's like, no, you have to get this out. And it's like...
You're right. That's what it is. It's parent companies saying, yeah, we can play some Overwatch after stream. That's good. It's just, for me, it's like, you know, you guys got to quit breathing down their necks. You know, yeah, your game's going to sell well either way. Like Call of Duty. When the new Call of Duty came out, everyone loved it.
Yeah.
As soon as they turned on their store, everybody lost their shit. What do you mean there's transactions? Well, they said there was going to be. They just shut them off initially.
Yeah.
So now the game is considered bad in your eyes just because it has a DLC story. And yeah, some of the stuff is kind of stupid, right? Like the smiley face reticle and the stupid red dot sight, right? Like that's dumb. But you don't have to buy it.
But it's not something that actually affects the game.
Yeah, and you don't have to buy it. So you can't tell me the game became instantly poop because they added
It is no different than what they're doing there. It's no different than what, you know, that Fortnite's doing. No different.
Yeah. Well,
it's just you had to pay for the game.
It's a free game, yeah. And that really does make a world of difference. At least for me, it does.
No, I agree.
Some people might.
You know, I think a lot of streamers streamers have said, like, you're kind of more willing to give a company money if you didn't have to pay for the game and it was a free. You know, even if it was a $10 game, it's like it's only a $10 game.
Yeah, but see, okay.
I'm more willing to give them more money.
Well, yeah,
because
and I think
like
that's why like Fortnite made so much money. Is because it's a free game. You know. Do I think the idea of buying dances and T-shirts are stupid? Dude, absolutely. Have I bought loot boxes from Overwatch? Absolutely. Okay. So I'm part of the problem. That's fine. But like, you still have to understand the difference between a free game and a $60 game. Wait a minute. There's that. Why isn't my duck button running? Maybe did I shut it off? Did I? Yeah, I gotta reset my buttons quick. And yes, Thane, I know that Call of Duty World War II had different guns. I wasn't talking about World War II. I was talking specifically about the last one that came out. I can't think of the name. Black Ops 4. Everyone thought it was so good, so spicy sweet, and the next thing you know, they opened up the store and everybody died on the inside. And it's like, see, you can't rechange your opinion based on the game store. If you legitimately enjoy the game, you enjoy the game. I didn't like all of World War II's maps. The new game mode they entered was cool. I wish they would have done a lot more with it though. The war mode, they kind of let that go to the wayside. But you can't piss them out on a game for DLC. Okay, DLC at this point is just sadly expected. And like it or not, it's not going away. Okay, there's no.
No, it's not.
There's no solid fix. Okay, that's because that's not how the game. That's not how it works. You know, and with the way that the gaming market has changed, you know, they don't have to put out a fully fixed game because you can patch it. And no, I agree with you, Thane, that you know you needed those legendary guns, but like, you can't say it's great, and then they add stuff to the store. I'm sorry, you know, things can happen really bad over time. But Black Ops, the new one, didn't add guns. World War II eventually did add gun variants, and I know that Advanced Warfare did that because I remember that, and that was awful. And when Ghost had the Ripper come out right at the end, that was like the dumbest thing I've ever dealt with in my life. The SMG that, when you aim down sights, went to an assault rifle that had better accuracy and the same rate of an SMG's fire and same damage was stupid. I'm not condoning that. But I mean, Black Ops didn't add any legendary guns. They just added a store, and people lost their mind. And they're taking their, I know a lot of people took the reviews down because they didn't want people to see a positive review on that game. I'm sorry, that was stupid. Ghost had a lot of problems. The maps were clearly not made in regular Call of Duty fashion, in my opinion. They were much too big. They weren't the normal like 2 or 3 lanes, but some of the maps were too big. But I think that a lot of developers should just take their time a little more. Yeah, so you delay your game by a few months. If people really want the game, I'm sorry. It's coming out in July. Just kidding, it's coming out in October now. I'm not going to go, ew, it's coming out in October? That's a hard pass.
Right.
That's stupid. Okay.
You just have to tell them it's coming out in October then, and not say it's coming out sometime and then push it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. I don't think that a game getting held back...
Because that's when people start getting pissed, is when you start pushing it.
Well, yeah. But I feel like a game getting... Dude, that freefall map can suck my gooch. The map was awful. I could not play that map to save my life. I died more to the map than people on that level, I'm sure. Because the map was like slowly corroding away, and bombs and shit would come in. That map sucked. Personally, I did not like it. It was fun though, but it sucked. I will say getting to play as Michael Myers in that Call of Duty was sweet. And then getting to play as Predator, that was pretty hot. Though I know that game was...
I never did that.
Yeah, that was sweet. So the first one they had, they added like a swamp house or something from one of the Michael Myers movies, and instead of the Juggernaut suit, you turn into Michael Myers. You'd have the mask on. He ran a little quicker than the Juggernaut, which was kind of disgusting. And then while you were the Michael Myers character, the Juggernaut, the Halloween theme would play. So people knew, like, you're gonna get knifed, dog. You hear that music coming, you're dead. And that was hotness. But Ghost wasn't really that good of a Call of Duty game. But I liked it, but it wasn't that good though. That game had way too many, like, really bad off-the-wall weapons.
It doesn't surprise me.
I think that was like their experimental game where they're like, let's try something different, and like it just didn't click. I don't know. Everything was just off about it. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I liked it, but it wasn't. But it was.
I'm not surprised.
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
The dog with the 3D glasses was actually pretty sweet. See, I feel like I'm really far in this game now, and I also feel like I haven't done enough. I don't know. Like, I think as of tonight, we will put, I think, 24 hours into this game, and I'm still not even sure, like, I'm really close to the end of the game just because this game really didn't have a ton of story.
Well, it's a scary thought.
Yeah. Well, I know this one was pretty big if you actually did everything, and I also want to, like, go through all the DLCs because I like the DLCs on this one a lot. But, like, there we go. Yeah, I'm not sure how close I am to actually, like, being through the main story. But I think that, like I said, developers, especially the parent companies, have to learn, don't rush stuff. You're only pissing your fan base off. You know,
yeah, I can see that.
You know, if you have to charge us a little more, fine, so be it. That's not the end of the world. But just make sure it comes out in a legit playable state.
Agreed.
You know, make sure that you're not locking what should be in-game stuff behind dinky-ass paywalls.
Or accidentally locking it.
Yeah.
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 Because Disney did, or Destiny did that, remember?
Yeah,
Their Destiny 2 did that on accident with their first...
Yeah.
With the new update. They accidentally put the raid behind a paywall.
Yeah. And
like, you really couldn't do it unless you...
Yeah. And that was obviously...
I mean, that was accidental. It wasn't expected, but still.
You know, but I wish that... You know, I'm tired. Like, I understand, you know, Fortnite has their season pass. And honestly, I think their season pass is done right because their game is free.
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're wrong there.
That's why I continually say the Fortnite effect has kind of put a choke on gaming. Well,
yep.
Fortnite has a pass.
Well, you look at either Fortnite or a lot of people compare a lot of things to Warframe.
You know, ever since you told me about that game, and even though I haven't turned it on yet, I haven't downloaded, I have noticed a lot more people talking about Warframe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if it's because it's either like becoming.
It's gotten a lot of tread, I think, and a lot of people are
Yeah, or if it's just picking up steam. But I've seen a lot of people, it seems lately, talking about Warframe lately, or comparing certain things to Warframe. And
you're seeing the combination. You're seeing more.
Yeah. And like I'm fine with that. But also, you know, that's a free game.
Yep.
You know, so I have no problem with, well, if you don't want to grind.
And the thing is
you gotta pay for it. That's fine. It's
the
free.
Warframe is so, like, their devs are, like, they don't you know, they have all the, every Friday they have a dev stream, or every couple Fridays they have a dev stream. But not once do they ever talk about money.
Yeah.
And they're always showing what's coming up, you know, what you're gonna see.
Yeah.
It's like,
there it is.
It is so good to see that, and a lot of people love that, you know, and it's like, they're so dedicated to the game.
Well, I know with Smite, like, cause I had a big Smite kick for a while. That's like all I was playing. I love Smite. But it seems like as time goes on, like, it's a free-to-play game, but everything is slowly like forcing you to pay for stuff now. Like, they add new skins in every couple weeks or every couple months, and for a while it was okay, and now it's like, well, you have to buy this and this and this, and some of the skins are like this, they're called tier 5s, and they're locked behind 4 or 5 other purchases first. After you make those 4 or 5 purchases, then you unlock the ability to purchase it. You don't unlock it. And it's like, so you mean to tell me one of the skins they had over the winter, it was, I guess it is the winter, maybe not for all of us, but it's an $80 skin once you buy everything else.
Holy fuck.
So if you want that one skin, you've got to buy essentially $80 worth of stuff. I don't know why all the Shaggy memes are on Facebook right now. I'm assuming it's just our meme overlords dictated that Shaggy becomes the new memes.
What?
I'm
so confused.
On your Facebook and stuff right now, there's a lot of from Scooby-Doo, you know, Shaggy, like the
that's what I thought you meant, but I'm like, what the hell are we talking about now? That was just random.
Yeah, just answering the chat. There's a ton of...
Yeah, no, I haven't been paying attention to chat, so I didn't know.
There's a whole bunch of Shaggy memes running around right now. Like, that's the new hotness right now for some reason.
Like I said, really.
I'm not really sure why, but yeah, it's like, it's everywhere for some reason.
Did not realize it.
Yeah, and I'm really not the guy to ask for memes, but it is the new hotness in terms of memes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, hold on, we gotta go fight more because there's still dudes floating around. Everywhere, what's going on? All I know is Thane was really butthurt, and he said, and I quote, "Nexus needs to get banned, or I'm not playing Standard anymore."
I could see that. I mean, I think if you ban any card in Standard, it's that card.
I actually think that you ban nothing, because we're so close to the rotation at this point, sadly, because it's only a couple months out.
I can make it okay for that one too. You know, it's not like I'm saying something has to go, but if you were gonna ban something, that's the one that goes.
Oh, for sure.
Is I guess how I was looking at that.
That's fair. I also noticed too, looking at a lot of like speculator peoples and all that good stuff. You know, the people that like try to tell you all the prices and all that happy horse shit. They're just like, Carnage Tyrants went down again this week, and the good Vraska went down again this week. They're like,
which one do we consider the good Vraska?
The 6-man one, or the?
That's what I thought.
which one? Relic Seeker, I think is her name. I think that's the same.
Yeah, the older one.
Yeah. They're like, it's seeing play pretty much at this point as a one-of-in bug, and like other than that, it's just not doing like anything.
I do think bug is going to be very strong.
I could see bug being good, but I feel like the fried mushroom is really good, and you got you know, you get all the good stuff from black, and I think black just has a ton of good cards right now.
Well, that's the other thing you get. Oh my god, I didn't even think of that. By playing bug, you get fucking thought erasure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, sorry. Grilled mushroom. What is grilled mushroom? Because Thane's phone.
I didn't even think of that till I just. Oh.
Yeah. No, I have a bug manager list. I haven't played
like, but I don't know if you want to go. Okay, it's like here's the question: you go green, black, splash, blue, or do you go blue, black, splash, green? I think you go green, black, splash, blue.
See, I actually think you go blue, green, splash, black. Because then all you really need are like kill spells and stuff, because you got a lot of really good creatures right now in blue green.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit of hand hate, a little bit of creature killed, and like should be fine. You know, should be fine.
And on top of it, there are kill spells for blue green.
Yeah, and Thane's also agreeing with me in the chat. Blue, green, splash, black.
So you go heavy creature? Like...
Yeah, I know Hydrokrasis seems like it's actually pretty good so far, but I also think it's week 1, and does a Krasis beat Bant Nexus? No.
No, it actually helps that deck a lot.
Yeah. Though I will say, you know, I do look wrong about that. It looks like that appears to be a relevant X creature. So I was wrong on that, outside looking in. But again,
yeah, that card's really good. I agree with you that.
You know, I do want to wait though a couple more weeks before we actually do our, you know, how good are our predictions.
Cards I'm liking so far are Krasis, Incubation Druid. That card's good. The fact that, you know, if it can come into play.
I thought I saw a grenade. It was not a grenade.
Something fell in front of you, that's for sure.
Yeah. No, I was just like, was that a grenade? Because I'm on my face, so I'm just going to get blown the hell out.
It's not going to get banned, Thane.
Okay, so I will say this about the card. Do I think it'll get banned? No.
No.
Does it lead to a lot of corny strategies?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That card is pretty much the enabler for AIDS.
Yeah. And I do think if... So, okay, here's the question. If you play a blue-green deck, do you play that card?
Yes.
I think you have to.
Cards on your turn, cards on their turn. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Because you can play a creature on your turn, and then the counterspell creature on their turn, and you're just good to go.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing that they would ban an uncommon enchantment. I feel like they would just ban the cards that it makes better. I'm not really gonna say Wilderness will go. I think pieces that Wilderness uses or plays well with might go instead. Oh no, I know it's good with Escanta. I've done that a lot. Escanta on your turn, Escanta on my turn. Oh,
Escanta.
If first, I will say though, and I know it's in one of my chats, when I first saw Wilderness, I'm like, the card's really not that good because it's just a win more card. And then as I started, that was because Thane commons don't sell packs. If the card wasn't a planeswalker, I think they would have let it alone. Uncommon, whatever. Uncommons don't sell packs, it's mythics. Okay, they could have just said Saheeli's banned, but people don't buy packs for uncommon 4-mana creatures. People don't buy packs for a 4-mana enchantment. They did that from a business standpoint more than anything. And I feel like I just did a big circle because I am dumb.
And the other thing, like you said, is Nexus is on its... Like, it's about to rotate anyways.
Yep. So I just think they go, you know, well, it's almost gone, guys. So we're just going to let it hang around until it actually rotates.
Okay, so here's the issue.
No.
If they decide to start New Modern, or whatever they call it, in fall.
Yep.
Does it get banned then? For a new modern?
Hold on. What do you mean I just contradicted my argument? I said that you don't buy packs for an uncommon, so they just hit the mythic.
But you also said that they're not going to ban uncommon.
Well, no, I don't think they would, right? And to be fair, well, maybe not anymore, but Bant was selling, or Nexus was selling boxes, right?
Yeah.
But it's too late in the format. They're just going to let it ride out.
Yeah, I think they just let it finish.
You know, they rarely ban stuff right at the end of its life cycle. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it is very rare. No, I agree that Nexus is 8. That's why I won't play it on stream. I already said that. I refuse to play Nexus. That's why my...
Yeah, I won't play it either.
That's why my enchantment...
Even if there's a one-of copy in a deck that I see, I will not play that deck. I will remove that card.
That's why my green-white list is just green-white. It's because I refuse to play the blue that I think should be in there for Nexus, because that's...
Well, I mean, you could play the blue, just not play the Nexus. I mean, it's like...
Nah, because I feel like at that point... Like, the only blue things I really wanted was the creature and Nexus, and if I'm not playing Nexus, I don't really feel like splashing green for one counter creature, so you just roll with it the way you originally...
Counter creature, counter magic. Counter creature, counter magic?
I wasn't going to play counter magic, I was just going to play the creature. The creature's
I do like playing, like, 4 negates in the board or something like that.
I feel like I'm just doing mindless circles here, which is spicy. But like I said, I don't see them hitting this late in its life.
Yeah, neither do I.
I can't see that. I don't see them hitting the wilderness card because right now it's too early in the format. Something may spring up. But I also know that as a pro player, you're just going to play what you think is best because it's the best and you want to get W's. So I can't see a lot of pros really stepping away from Nexus if they're already on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no need to. There's no point to, I should say. Not a need to, there's no point to. I feel like I don't know what the hell I am doing right now. I feel really dumb. We'll figure this out. Well, no, like, I know I have to leave this point, and I'm not seeing a point to leave, so I am just doing circles.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
It was kind of like we were playing Darksiders at the end that one day, and we were really tired. We couldn't find that.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that was awesome.
Just a damn switch. So we ran around for like a half hour, going like, "It should be right here," and then it was just right on the wall because we're done.
Or the fact that at the end where you finish, it's like, how do we do this again?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you just have to blow the Concord.
Yeah. No, I agree with that too. Saying that, like, you know, that is how that will go. But at the same time, you know, I don't see Wizards being in a rush to ban stuff.
Yeah, I don't either.
You know?
And I think one of the next Pro Tours, to be honest with you, coming up is going to be Modern. I believe one of the next ones is supposed to be set to be Modern, so...
Okay. I wasn't sure.
And that'll lower it even more.
Yeah. For sure. And this card, I think, is stuck in it. Aww. Yeah, we go. Okay. But like I said, I don't see Bant Nexus going anytime soon, or any whatever deck they're playing that has it in there.
Because we all know Pro Tours change, like they always ban things for the Pro Tour or unban things for the Pro Tour and to shake it up. And the next PT I think is supposed to be standard. The one after that, I would not be surprised if it's Modern.
Why did I get out of my vehicle like a dumbass?
But then the next PT after that is actually Falls, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't really keep up with a lot of that stuff just because it never really like...
No, I'm trying to think, what's the next set after this? It's going to be July. Never mind. So no, we got one more before the rotate, yeah. Yeah, you'll have, well, it'll be the new Rav set.
Yeah.
War of the Spark or whatever. And then you'll have the rotation set. Which I think you would not be surprised if the Modern PT is War of the
Well, I think it's going to be War of the Spark, and then a core set, and then whatever the next block is going to be. actually hoping, just for Thane, that in the core set, they just reprint Bant Nexus, or Nexus, just in the set. So we get a couple more, at least one more year with it. Oh, that'd be so cool.
Well, isn't... Okay, hold on. I gotta bring up.
I'd probably put Magic. LOL. Okay, so I feel like I'm not really sure which direction I have to go, but I know I have to go. This sucks because like I think I'm just legitimately stuck here, and I don't feel like I should be, but I am. This car is ugly, so we're just gonna get rid of this car. There we go. Let's make it over. Let's figure out here what we're doing wrong. I don't know why you would put Magic as a whole, just because they reprinted one card. I mean,
yeah, the core set will be the fall set.
Okay.
Because you got 4/19, so April.
And then May, June, July, because it's every 3 months.
Will be. That'll put you at 7. Will be the core set, which is, I think, when everything rotates, right?
No, after the core set. There's normally two core sets in before the quote-unquote rotation happens.
Okay, so yeah, then you're still in summer. So okay, you've got Spark, core set, and then the new one.
Yes.
And then the new set. Okay, cool. For some reason, I was forgetting about the core set.
Okay,
as of right now, they only have War of the Spark announced. You know.
Yeah.
That's the only one that they have announced.
Now, please tell me this is going.
I would not be surprised if soon we start hearing about.
I don't think I have a thing.
The next blocks. You know, like they start hinting towards those.
Yeah. 2 core sets for 1 month. Let me see here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So we'll go to trash and see what that takes us. Because for some reason, we all sorts of messed up right now. We're going everywhere and nowhere at the same time. It's lovely.
You have those games, it seems like sometimes.
I do. Well, you know, when your brain only works sometimes all the time, you can't help that.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Okay, so speaking of brain problems, so Rachel was making breakfast this morning. This is really stupid, right? She's making egg sandwiches, right? And she made them over easy. And I'm like, oh hell yeah, dude, we're getting eggs for breakfast? Sweet, I'm hungry. And she's like, you don't get one of these. And I'm like, why not? She's like, you don't like over easy eggs. I'm like, yeah, I do. She's like, no, you don't. Don't tell me what I don't eat. What the hell is wrong with you? Make me a sandwich. She's like, no, you don't eat those. Yeah, I do. You never ate one before. Yeah, I have. What are you talking about? You don't even know what you eat. Just make me a damn sandwich. I'm hungry. Jesus, really? It's like the stupid marshmallow ice cream all over again. I wanted ice cream with marshmallows in it. She's like, you can't eat that. You don't like marshmallows. Well, then why do I want it? I don't know. Because you don't remember anything. Just, I'm buying the damn ice cream. Don't be stupid with me. It's like, really? You're trying to not give me a sandwich because you remember that you think that I don't like it. So I don't get to eat. Yeah, okay. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. That was dumb. It was like an hour in arguing this morning over a stupid-ass cheese sandwich. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
That's awesome.
Completely unnecessary. I was like, what is going on here? This has got to stop. Come on now. Yeah. No, and she just blames that on my head not working. And it's like, so you mean to tell me that I'm, because you kind of think what I don't like to eat, that I can't eat it? She's like, yep. No. That's not how this works. That's not how
Blame
this works.
everything on your car accident.
She does. And it's like, hey, no, that's not how that works. Just because I want a sandwich that you don't think I like doesn't mean I won't want it anyway. Just give it to me.
Right.
Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Okay, now we're getting places.
Finally.
Took long enough. Well, I was just like, there has to be a way to get just out of this place with a fast point, and then just, I guess, start fresh, because wherever I was, for whatever reason, I wasn't getting out of there. But now we are. And that's what matters. But no, they're not gonna ban anything in standard. Especially because by default right now, standard is technically at its best that it's been for a while.
Long time.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't see them banning it either.
No, so even if one thing is bad,
they're gonna let it go.
Yeah. Did I mess up somewhere? Because I'm right back to where I was and it doesn't look like anything's changing.
I don't know if I'm watching.
No, you're not supposed to, but I really am back to where I just was. And there's
that doesn't surprise me.
And there's literally no place for me to go. Like, I don't understand. There's really a little hole underneath these rocks. Are you shitting in my face right now? Just game. Make me look foolish on stream. Why you do that to me? Why you do this? And now that the KCI is gone, I think modern will go back to being modern. Like,
yeah, it'll go back to a pretty healthy format again.
Cards is back to where it was. It was fine. Sure, you're not gonna like everything, but that happens. You know, not everything will be perfect. Modern's always been that format where people have to complain and piss and moan that their deck's not good or they don't like this one card or something, and that's... God, if we banned cards that touched us inappropriately,
yeah,
there would literally be like no deck left.
Yep.
Sometimes you just gotta tough through it and accept the fact that it is what it is.
I know. I love how you were talking about like how when we first started, like everybody first started playing again, it was like, okay, so they brought back red draw spells. I'm like, well, the last one, the one I remember they started with, and the one that really was the last unfair one, was looting.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean
or red draw spells.
I don't mean unfair ones, but like Red always had these really garbage ones like Burning Inquiry in there, where it's just like, you know, yeah, I'm gonna draw and it's random, right? And then when they finally made like Wild Guess and Tormenting Voice, yeah, it's not technical card advantage, but it is drawing off your deck.
Gotta remember that Faithless Looting was before those.
I know Wild Guess came out of M10, which was, I think...
Looting was Innistrad.
Yeah, and I think M10 was the core set up to Innistrad, because I think it was M10 and M11, because that's where Preordain and Ponder were in terms of core sets, and Delver had those. But it was just like, you know, no one was going to play Wild Guess, but it was still the fact that,
So Looting
like,
was in
it's
Dark Ascension.
Oh, yeah, Dark Ascension, yeah.
And Wild Guess.
It might have been Tormenting Voice or Wild Guess. It was one of those two. I think Wild Guess came out first, though, if I remember right.
But it didn't see play. I know that.
Oh, no, it didn't. It was just the fact that it was red shifting through your deck, though, and people were like, what is this technology? Because red never really has draw off your deck, ever.
Yeah.
And then they started toying with the idea like, well, it's like chaos drawing because you're trading in cards for you don't know what. That's kind of red. And it's like, well, yeah, you know, that is technically the definition of red. I'm not really sure if that's like really red though, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I know for a fact that like neither of those were really played. It was just the fact that like, red kind of has deck choice now.
Okay, so M13 a wild guess.
Why keep doing that?
Which means...
And that thing was better in every way, which is bananas.
No, you had looting before. Just before.
Okay.
Because you go Dark Ascension, then you go Abyss, and then you go M13, which is when you had wild guess.
Okay, but no, I
and then after wild guess is when you got Tormenting Voice.
Okay.
I believe.
Because I know like a lot of those have been around for a while. Not the Faithless looting. I mean, clearly that has been, but people were just blown away that they were finally making red draw. Because Wizards always kind of said like, you know, red.
Well, because I remember knowing that wild guess wasn't as good because you had the discard first, then you could draw.
Yeah.
I think it's...
This is clearly a boss fight, and if it's not, I would be confused.
I kind of like how they did that. They go 1 red, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards. Yeah. Discard 2 cards or discard a card, one of the two. And then you go wild guess, which is as additional cast, discard a card for double red. Yeah. And now we're at Tormenting Voice, which I'm actually happy with Tormenting Voice. Like, I feel okay with it, just because it's a red and a colorless, not like it's...
Yeah, the double red from wild guess is what made it pretty much like completely unsplashable.
No thanks.
I mean,
yeah,
you know, no deck wants to kind of have to do this. Oh wow, we're getting smoked here. This sucks.
And I don't think that was very good back then either. Don't get me wrong.
No, but like I said, it was just the fact that they started to kind of tinker around with new stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just
giving them the...
Yeah, and it was very scary for a lot of people because, you know, that's not my magic. Red doesn't do stuff like that. Well, clearly it does. Oh hey, that's the Master Chief ripoff, Master McCloud. I forgot he was even in this game. That's why he has the alien gun. Crossmelon Origins. What was that? Oh! Yeah, the one that's a really, really poor man's Time Twister. Oh, really? You died after I killed you, you stinky doo-doo head, or before I killed you. Damn it. Oh well.
And Origins? Which one was that?
The 2 in a blue. Wait, the red one. Oh, you mean that dragon that everyone was going crazy over? The average dragon or whatever? Where you drew the extra card at the end of your turn? Or at the start of your turn, I mean? Sound like Donkey Kong Dodger slowed. Eat nuts.
No, I think he's talking about, Magmatic Insight. 1 red is initial casting cost, discard a land, draw 2 cards.
I don't even remember that card being a card.
Oh, 1 red. That actually doesn't seem bad, to be honest with you. It's probably the closest thing you're going to get to looting ever again. But the reason looting sees play in Modern is because you can discard anything.
Yeah.
And, you know...
Yeah, well, Legacy Lands played it because Legacy Lands is always looking for new cards to play. And that's like one of those decks that really doesn't get a ton of new stuff. So anytime they can, it's, hey, we have to try it. Because some decks are always just searching for that one card that hopefully pushes them over the edge.
Right.
Even though it never really... Doesn't always, I should say, not never really, but... pans out well. The name of the new alien gun is the 10100 cannon. want to say it was middle of nowhere. Had more missions. And I'm still hanging on to all the stupid crappy guns just because they have words to them, but I feel like I have to just start selling them off. What? I want to loot more stuff. I have so much crap that like I don't need. When you're hanging on to 30 things, it's hard to pick up more loot. Not like you necessarily need it, but I mean I really haven't bought anything in forever.
Right.
But no, that's something too that I don't see the point in putting them into locker though. Like, I'm at some point, maybe not on stream, but I'm gonna do a playthrough too, and that's when the guns are really relevant because that's when they're actually gonna be, you know, leveled a little better. Why isn't that up? No, it was up last time. Maybe it's up top and I'm getting pranked. Maybe not. Oh, we did call that right, I think. Okay. Well, I think what we're going to do is probably bang out this mission, turn this one in, and then I think then you and I can play our Overwatch then for a little while, because I want to grind for some skins, damn it. I need that new skin goodness in my life, though I have been playing a lot already. I don't know how many games of Capture the Flag I played today. But I think this event finally had an event where like all the skins were good.
Yeah, that's good.
Not just one or two, they're all really nice. Yeah, they've had some. The Reaper skin is pretty good. Because they have had some.
Did they just change Reaper again?
Yes, they did.
Again, I should say.
He heals 50% of the damage he deals now.
Jesus.
And they changed his damage a little bit as well with this newer patch.
That's a lot of healing.
Well, that's because right now for super hyper competitive play, it's normally like 2 to 4 tanks.
Yeah.
And with him being the designated tank buster, not being able to kill tanks, kind of a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, now it just makes him even more of a...
Yeah. And him having to be super close range anyway, like I feel like out of any character in the game, by default he's always just the most balanced because he only works at close range. Like,
yeah.
He has no weird rockets or anything. Like, yeah, he can teleport and wraith a little bit, but like, that doesn't bust him.
I wouldn't be surprised if they get rid of his teleport eventually.
You know, I think his teleport is like almost too slow.
Yeah, well, and that's why.
They either need to speed it up, or yeah, probably just like grip it out altogether. I would feel bad for all the work they put into that though, because the first couple of months of that game was just continually like, we've updated the game to where Reaper cannot teleport here. We've upgraded the game to where, or updated it to where he can't teleport here because he was getting to places that they didn't want him to get to. That was pissing a lot of people off. I was okay with that though. Again, he's always been a close range character, so for me it's just like, you know, there's worse things that can happen. I think in terms of overall character design, I believe they said on a scale of like 0 to 10, the best designed character they had was Winston. Just because they never really they've never ever buffed him, or I mean nerfed him, because he's always just kind of been around. He's kind of like the fairest character in their mind. I think this is the mission where I get the sexy gun. It's so weird though, because now I hit this part of the game, like, and I don't remember this part. Which is why we haven't been blowing through stuff like we normally do. Because it's like, wait a minute. I don't remember this fight. I don't remember this boss. I don't remember where the gun pieces are off the top of my head like I normally do. It's almost like a fresh playthrough all over again. Oh. But it's sad because I can't find shit for shit. That look ridiculous. But I also think too that with Overwatch, with the way they kind of designed their game, it's like overly hard to perfectly balance the game. Because proper balance could sometimes mean completely destroying the game or throwing everything so far out of whack that you know, you ruin the meta. Hey, there's a gun piece. What was that?
It was a clip.
Oh,
I didn't realize I still.
Like, what in the hell?
It was Broman flipping out. He went past the. Hold on.
What kind of grenades do I even have on? Really? Just standard exploding ones, huh? Lame. And why you want me to whack these nuts thing with them? I ain't playing the games, bro. That's fair.
I'm so confused by this clip right now.
Now, what if I told you it's not that hard to confuse you? What would you say?
Oh, I know it's not. But okay, it was the clip I was just watching. It's Broman, and it says... Oh, word, I have to find the clip again. Or the link to his clip. The proper way to respond to exotic drops. And then it links him to his Instagram. And it's like him going over something in Anthem, but it doesn't tell him it's an exotic anywhere that I've noticed.
Okay.
So it was more or less like, what? He just flips out? I don't know. That's basically what it looks like, is him just flipping out.
That's fair. Come on.
And like, then rolling on the ground and...
I will find these stupid pieces.
Yeah, I don't know, it was weird.
Or I won't find
Am I
these stupid
following?
pieces.
Oh, hey. I'm not following BBD on Magic or online.
I know I'm following some people, but like...
I'm pretty much following all the big stars. I follow Jerry, I follow Todd Anderson.
Yeah.
I technically follow Stevens, but I shouldn't.
There's nothing wrong with appreciating the way a guy plays cards. That's okay. You don't have to agree with him.
No, yeah, and that's why I do it. I follow Brad. Some of the bigger names, you know, some of the bigger creators, you know. Pretty much everybody.
It's not what's wrong with Stevens, more so the actions of said person, more so than like his card playing capabilities. Oh my god, game, where are these pieces? I feel so stupid right now.
Okay. And when I go to BBD's stream to see what deck he's playing, and he doesn't have his deck list up to date. He doesn't have the deck It looks like he's playing Mardu.
That wouldn't shock me. The Mardu deck with
Mardu hero with
really strong.
top end Aurelia.
Okay.
Seems good.
Yeah. No, I think Mardu.
But is also playing really good triple white. Triple white for the what's it called? For the Marshal, the guy like the 3-mana 3/3 that other creatures get +1/+1, which seems super strong. But the triple white I can see being very tough.
One of the people in the chat.
It shouldn't be.
One of the people in the chat says you should follow Reed Duke.
Yeah, no thanks. Actually, I probably already do, but...
You know, I don't remember if it was on the Diamond HUD or not. I feel like the Diamond HUD, or the Diamond just tells you, like where you should be for this. I don't remember if it told you exactly where the weapon is, because this one says right here, and, like, there's nothing around us at all. It just kind of, for the find the pieces
is he playing Mardu Humans?
It just sort of gives you... Yeah, but there's nothing up. Here, look. Let me see here.
I think he's playing Mardu Humans. But looks because he's actually playing the land that you choose a creature type.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that up there either.
What are we looking for?
Trying to find the stupid pieces to the stupid gun.
It's like, damn it, anyhow.
Oh, hey, there's a piece.
Time to wiki it.
No. So now we're just missing... And there it is. Found it. Found it. Took long enough. Yeah, I know, right? Like, I remembered most of this game. Up till this section. I have no recollection of this section at all whatsoever.
Over there.
Yeah. So it's so weird to be like... Where is this again? Because I feel like I should just know where everything is instinctively. I mean, I beat this game like 5 or 6 times by myself, and I know Twink and I went through it a couple times. This dude's about to get dunked on. Well, I remember as the game goes on, they place the pieces worse and worse and worse intentionally, just to kind of like throw you off some. I also feel like too that's just a good way to kind of drag the mission out some. Go find these pieces that are oddly placed exactly where nobody wants to actually go look for them. Okay. Now where do I turn this in at? Rust Commons East. Actually, we should sell our stuff first. Because this stuff's all crap. No need to read this at all. That's not what I wanted. I wanted... Isn't that a teleporter or no? No? Okay. It has been cool to play this game again though. Like, I thoroughly missed Borderlands, man. I don't know why. There's just something about Borderlands that I love. The idea of...
I am excited for Borderlands 3, don't get me wrong. See, I will play Borderlands.
I'm definitely afraid for it.
Why do you say that?
With the whole DLC and that craze, I really am afraid for that game.
They need to follow what they did in Borderlands 2.
Yeah. And I have a feeling like they probably wanted to, but I feel like one of their higher ups were like,
They've said it's in the works, haven't they?
Yeah.
But they haven't shown anything.
No, they haven't shown it. But there's a guy that I follow on YouTube who's like Tinfoil Hat Man. That's not his real name, so don't bother to look it up. But he has an inside source from someone who works at Gearbox. And they've kind of told him like the game is already about 60% done.
Meaning you'll see it this year at E3.
But they're trying
to keep...
Yeah, but they're trying to keep everything like super
tight,
duper under wraps for now because they don't want anything for any reason to sneak out, and that's another reason why
they don't want any spoilers, which I don't blame them.
Yeah, well, they've kind of already said It's supposed to.
It's very hard for a company to do that now.
Yeah, but the new one's not supposed to be on Pandora, or it is on Pandora, but like it's in a completely different world. It's supposed to have all new people in it, no returning characters.
Oh.
They've kind of showed some of the abilities that are rumored to be out there, and like I know Thane's all gooey pants over the new soldier. Because his ability is like, instead of throwing out a turret, he throws out like a Titanfall mech suit that you can get into or a teammate can get into and pilot.
That'd be hot.
I think it'd be kind of sweet. Okay, so put this here.
Did you play the regular division?
Nope.
You didn't?
No. That was at the time though when I had the store and I really wasn't playing like anything.
Would you want to play like through the storyline?
Probably. I know I heard nothing but bad stuff about the online, and at the time when I had
the online sucks. Like, I hated.
At the time when I had
to be honest with you,
it was pretty much.
I hate everything.
It had story. I didn't care. I just wasn't gonna touch it because I wasn't gonna pay attention.
Coming out of the dust, nasty out there,
yeah, but Battlefront is online. That's not story-driven game, and that's fine. That's what I wanted. Because I knew I'd only get to play it sometimes, and if I forget any bit of the story, it's really hard. That's why I normally don't play RPGs, is because it's hard to get back into them.
Yeah.
Or remember what you were even doing, for that matter. I swear I had missions somewhere else. Maybe.
Oh, he's playing against Brad too. Okay. Marjuju Humanitarians is what he has that called.
Like that's pretty good. Where do I gotta go? I don't think I have a fast point to there, do I?
I think they're both streaming right now, actually, so they're both.
Crimson Fastness. Oh, where's that? Well, I guess we just start going this way. Actually, I think what we'll do here is we'll call the stream, I think, done, just because we've hit our 3-hour mark. We're at another good point in the mission. We banged out all
Mono Red. Oh no, what are you playing now?
We ended up getting stuck in some places which look stupid. Plus I promised Thane we would do some Overwatch. And I know it's the weekend, but he's a little kid and he likes to go to bed super early. Because he's just a little kid, a wee lad. So I'll quickly loot some crap here, and then
tiny little fuck.
Pretty much, and then we're gonna call the stream
like how I did.
A good night. It's true though. So I just start getting the boring crap out of the way now. Thanks for everyone who came out. Thanks for everyone who talked. We will be back tomorrow night with more Borderlands action because this is our weekend game. I feel like that's like all the boring shit I have to get out of the way. Tomorrow's stream will probably be a little longer tomorrow night, just because I'm pretty sure no one's going to be like, hey, we should play Overwatch. So that'll help that a little bit. So it seems like the 60 frames are fine, but I have to leave it at 720, so I have to remember that for future reference. Because if not, we had issues, and I don't want issues.
Well, okay, going back to that real quick. What did you reset it back to 2200 bit rate?
Yeah, I reset everything
and
back
the 720?
I reset everything back to what I had.
Okay.
Yeah, so I reset
I knew you were going to, so I didn't remember if you did both at the same time.
Just do it right away. Because I hate to have to continue to be like, no, stop the stream.
Well, what if you tried increasing your bitrate to like 3K, but then kept it at 720 still?
I was going to, but then I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just not and get, you know, because we know it worked this way. I might putz with stuff tomorrow night to start to see if maybe, you know, we can just make it look a little fresher or something, because if I can, I want to. Oh wow, this gun sucks. Well, I guess it does one shot, which is kind of hot. But this gun is crap. Wow, that fire rate is awful. So we're gonna walk through this door, and then we're gonna call it a GG on the stream here. So we'll be back tomorrow night. They and I am assuming are going to jump into DOS Discord. I want to refresh my beer quick before we start playing Overwatch. So thanks for everyone who came out. Hope you had fun. I know initially I wasn't, just because it sucked that the stream was having issues.
At least we got them figured out.
Yeah. As long as everything can be figured out fairly quickly, it's not too bad. And we will be back tomorrow night. So everyone, have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your day tomorrow. Peace.